rise and shine. Coffee's brewing, feeling fine. News is out and on the air. Shizzy Whiz nuts wild, but we don't care. Morning Whiz and Coffee. Talk the news, he's a tease. Laugh it off, we're on the go. Shizzy Whiz nuts, start the show. Let's go. Spinning in the breeze, stupid jokes, he's such a tease. Sip the Java with a smile. Pants are off, but stay a while. Morning Whiz and Coffee. Talk the news, he's a tease. Laugh it off, we're on the go. Shizzy Whiz, let's start the show. Let's go. Spinning in the breeze, stupid jokes, he's such a tease. Sip the Java, wear a smile. Pants are off, but stay a while. Morning Whiz and Coffee. Talk the news, he's a tease. Laugh it off, we're on the go. Shizzy Whiz, let's start the show. Let's go. Serious is overrated. Every day we're caffeinated. Talk the town, but in a jest. Morning Whiz is always best. Clock is ticking, time to run. Morning show's a load of fun. Grab your mug, don't spill a drop. Laugh your ass off till you pop. Clock is ticking, time to run. Morning show's a load of fun. Grab your mug, don't spill a drop. Laugh your ass off till you pop.
Oh my god, Shizzy breaks Larry. Shizzy broke Larry.
Good morning, everybody. What a day it's going to be. I hope everyone's staying warm. Man, oh man. Do we have an interesting one for you today? Give me just a second. Make an adjustment real quick. Hold on. That's a little better. Got a nice little easy morning, cool blue, purple, whatever you want to call it. I hope everyone's doing well this morning. Man, oh man, we're just going to dig right in here this morning, almost right off the bat, because it is hilarious the news that it's the hits that just keep on hitting right here. Justin.
So last night over dinner, I told my kids about the decision that I'm sharing with you today.
Oh.
I intend to resign as party leader, as prime minister, after the party selects its next leader through a robust, nationwide, competitive process.
Oh.
Last night, I asked the president of the Liberal Party to begin that process. So last night over dinner,
Oh, isn't that so sad? Poor little Justin. Poor little Justin. But see, I prefer listening, and I'm not Canadian, so I got nothing in this one. And unless you look at this guy right here, listen to him.
On the topic, I mean, in terms of your sort of strategy currently, you're obviously taking the populist pathway.
What does that mean?
Well, appealing to people's more emotional levels, I would guess. I mean, certainly you tap very strong ideological language quite frequently.
Like what?
Left wing, this and that, right wing. I mean, it's that type of ideological thing.
I never really talk about left or right.
Anyways, I don't
really believe in that.
Okay, a lot of people would say that you're simply taking a page out of the Donald Trump book.
Like which people would say that?
Well, I'm sure a great many Canadians, but
like who?
I don't know who, but
Well, you're the one who asked the question, so
yeah.
you must know somebody.
Okay, I'm sure there's some out there, but anyways, the point of this question is, I mean, why should Canadians trust you with their vote, given not just the sort of ideological inclination in terms of taking the page out of Donald Trump's book, but
what are you
also,
talking about? What page? What page? Can you give me a page? Give me the page. You keep saying
in terms of turning things quite dramatically, in terms of Trudeau and the left wing and all of this. I mean, you make quite a it's quite a play that you make on it. So I'm
not sure. I don't know what your question is.
Then forget that. Why should Canadians trust you with their vote?
Common sense. Okay. Common sense for a change. We're going to make common sense common in this country. We don't have any common sense in the current government. The guy prints $600 billion, grows our money supply by 32% in 3 years. That's growing the money 8 times faster than the economy. No wonder we have the worst inflation in 4 decades. I'm going to cap spending, cut waste, so that we can balance the budget and bring down inflation and interest rates. You'll want to be able to pay your mortgage again? You want to be able to afford rent? Then you have to vote for Pierre Poilievre, because I'm the only one with a common sense plan that will bring back the buying power of your paycheck.
Wow. Yeah, we need more of this. We need more of this. Or we can I saw this morning. You're gonna love this next one. It's gonna be awesome. Just when I saw this, I laughed so much. So here we go. This is just for you guys. We gotta start out with a happy smile.
What if the United States, Mexico, and Canada became one country? If all 3 nations joined together to form a single country, they could call it CUM, or the United Nations of CUM, and it would instantly become the most powerful country in the world. Economically, this union would dominate with a GDP of over $28 trillion, making it the richest country on Earth. The U.S.'s $25 trillion economy would lead, boosted by Canada's energy resources and Mexico's manufacturing strength. Geographically, this supranation would span 21.66 million square kilometers, overtaking Russia as the largest country and nearly doubling Europe's size. From Canada's icy Arctic to Mexico's sunny beaches, it would feature unmatched diversity. The population would soar to nearly 500 million, ranking as the 3rd most populous country behind only India and China. And with a defense budget of over $900 billion and 1.7 million active troops, it would command the world's most advanced and powerful military. So, would you want the U.S. to form CUM and reshape the world? What if the United States...
Oh God! When I saw that, that was most glorious. That made my morning. Oh God! The United Nations of God. Oh, that just. This is the way you've got to start out your mornings. Oh my God. When I saw that, that just made me laugh so hard seeing that. It was almost one of the best things. But of course, as everyone knows, we've got the final humiliation of camel toe. Forget about Babe Ruth. I read that yesterday. I can't do it again. Oh my God. She had to make sure that he was the one that was certified. Oh my God. That has just made me laugh quite a bit. That made me laugh quite a bit. But of course, Adam Schiff in a tizzy appears on corporate state media to denounce Kash Patel for FBI head. The walls are closing in. You may recall hearing over and over throughout Trump's first administration. Somehow those magical walls were closing in for years, yet never actually closed. And the hysteria came to an ignominious end when the much vaunted Russiagate report by Robert Mueller, released in 2019, found no evidence whatsoever of the alleged Putin collusion. Weird how that works out, isn't it? And here we have them in their own words. And this was in February of 2017.
Donald Trump's done. He's done. There's no question about that. He's done.
Breaking news.
A bombshell.
Today is a turning point. Today was historically bad for President Trump.
Today was a turning point.
A turning point.
We're at a turning point here.
The beginning of the end for
April
the Trump presidency.
The beginning of
2017.
the end.
And breaking news.
We have another bombshell.
Mike Pence might have to assume the office of the presidency.
The call for impeachment.
Rumblings of the word impeachment.
Breaking news.
Another bombshell out of the White House.
I
All
believe
this
this is the beginning of the end.
news.
I do too.
It's
really
the beginning of the end.
The beginning of the end.
He may be feeling the
Lie.
walls closing in on him.
All the walls closing in on him.
The walls closing in on him.
Breaking news, a new bombshell.
One astrologer says this means the beginning of the end for President Donald Trump.
The beginning of the end of the Trump presidency.
Trump will resign.
Trump is going to resign.
Is this the tipping point? I know we've said it
Oh,
over and over
You think this is a tipping point?
and over and
Suffering.
over
This is a tipping
Suffering.
point.
and over and over. Breaking news, President Trump off the rails.
It was the beginning of the end today.
The beginning of the end.
It reminds me a lot of the last days of Nixon.
Breaking news tonight, new bombshell.
This is the beginning of the end.
September.
beginning of the end.
The walls
October.
are closing in.
The walls closing in.
The walls
Oh.
closing in.
Breaking overnight bombshell.
This is a very dramatic day, and I think it might be near a tipping point. Do you think this is a tipping point?
This is unbelievable. This is remarkable. Have you ever seen anything like this?
His presidency is
November.
crippled.
December 1st, 2017, you can
December.
mark it down. This is the day that everything changed. We begin with the
What the hell in a
The beginning of the end?
The beginning of the end.
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 The beginning of the end. In fact, if this were a football game, we're in the third quarter. May even be the beginning of the end.
We begin tonight with the bombshell. Donald Trump is in a lot of trouble.
Bombshells.
The president will resign.
Another hour, another bombshell.
This is a tipping
More
point.
bombshells.
This
Watch
president
out for the
could be
bombshells.
impeached.
I do not think the
2018.
president will serve out his term. Resignation. I don't think this president is going to serve out his term. Mr. Trump will not serve out his term. He will not serve out his term. No way, no how. Breaking news.
Oh, that was the guy that went to jail, wasn't it? Yeah, that was Avenatti. Took his happy ass to jail after the Stormy Daniels debacle. The one that later Trump would get sued over. Weird how that works. That that's that. Oh, yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy how that works, isn't it? Still nothing. We're talking about May 2018, but we know how this all played out. The resistance rigs. It was a hard day, a hard week, a hard year. Some, like top cable news lesbian Rachel Maddow, may never recover. The recent election further destabilized them. Anyway, that's all over now. But there are some new walls now, and these one might actually close on the swamp. The hunters have become the hunted. Now, Senator Adam Schiff, for one, who among his many other dirty deeds served as an integral member of the January 6th hoax that resulted in a myriad of innocent, nonviolent Americans getting caught up in prison as collateral damage, all in the hopes of finally nailing Trump on something, anything, isn't keen on having any stones overturned by Trump's nominee for the top FBI job. He's using the sleaziest pretext imaginable to attack Patel in his most recent media appearance in the service of undermining the nomination. Adam Schiff says the deadly attack on New Orleans on New Year's Day demonstrates why Congress should reject Donald Trump's nominee to lead the FBI, Kash Patel, after his second presidency begins. Kash Patel should not be confirmed. The California senator said on NBC's Meet the Press, "I think the terrorist attack on New Orleans just underscores again the importance of having someone directing the FBI that has no experience, that has judgment, that has character, and it will prioritize defending the country against the violence we saw in New Orleans," or that from Trump supporters during U.S. Capitol on January 6th, after he lost the presidency to Joe Biden a week earlier. Methinks the deep state goblin doth protest too much. I think so. Because whenever you've got this talking head up here, you know that it's just more of the same old. Schiff, as his ideological media ally, seemed to have particular adverse to Patel or anyone else not in on the scam looking too closely into January 6th on all of the narrative surrounding it and the show trial that followed, which included alleged witness tampering Liz Cheney. Continuing, in a previous interview with former Trump White House strategist Steve Bannon, Patel said he would target judges, lawyers, journalists for investigating Trump and claiming they had a role in robbing Trump of victory in 2020. We will go out, find the conspirators, not just in the government, but in the media, Patel said in the interview. Yes, we're going to come after the people in the media who lied about American citizens who helped Joe Biden rig presidential elections. Patel also claimed the FBI was involved in Trump's 2020 election loss in the November 22 podcast episode he hosted that was titled, "What Did the FBI Know Before January 6th?" Well, he started a foundation to defend Capitol attackers and helped produce a song to raise funds and awareness for due process that has been hijacked for so many people who were in and around the Capitol attack. Take one look at this guy, Adam Schiff, and your spidey senses doesn't tingle. I'd suggest a psychiatrist or a priest or something. His closet full of dead bodies, at least in the metaphorical sense, maybe in the literal sense. Let's hope Cash can dig some up. Really, I really hope that that they stop losing their ever-loving minds over this, because it's not going to get any better for them. They seem to think that it is, but it really isn't. And the impact of Donald J. Trump being elected as the next president. Let me turn that way. There we go. Why is it my camera acting all funky today? I don't know. It's been doing weird kind of stuff. It just slowly moves to the left, a little bit to the right. Be right back. You need coffee? You know what? I need some coffee too. Why don't we take a little coffee break? We're going to grab... My coffee cup doth not floweth over, so I must get a little bit more coffee. Give me just a couple of seconds, and I'll give you a little bit of time to grab some coffee and enjoy this song. In the meantime, be right back.
Shizzy, when it's chat we thrive, where Shizzy does dance and memes arrive. No quiet moments, no dawn night. We laugh and funny sight. Oh, Shizzy's crowd, you're wild and true, with crazy kicks and jokes that flew. We're living pixels in the stream, a digital dream, a shared daydream. From shoutouts to those random screams, to inside jokes and endless memes. We talk and Shizzy, when it's chat we thrive, where Shizzy does dance and memes arrive. No quiet moments, no dawn night. We laugh and funny sight. Oh, Shizzy's crowd, you're wild and true, with crazy gifts and jokes that flew. We're living pixels in the stream, a digital dream, a shared daydream. From shoutouts to those random screams, to inside jokes and endless memes. In Shizzy, when it's chat we thrive, where Shizzy does dance and memes arrive. No quiet moments, no dawn night. We laugh and funny sight. Oh, Shizzy's crowd, you're wild and true, with crazy gifts and jokes that flew. We're living pixels in the stream, a digital dream, a shared daydream. From shoutouts to those random screams, to inside jokes and endless memes. We type our hearts, we spam the love. Our chat rooms like a lit up club. Our chat rooms like a lit up club. Oh, Shizzy's crowd, you're wild and true, with crazy gifts and jokes that flew. We're living pixels in the stream, a digital dream, a shared daydream. proud, you're wild and true, with crazy gifts and jokes that flew. We're living pixels in the stream, a digital dream, a shared daydream.
You're such a liar, Yamaha. Comedy isn't my thing. You lie so much. Comedy is your thing. You know that's so true. Oh my gosh. So it looks like Trump's worldwide election. What do they mean by this? Well, winning the 2024 election was only the beginning. The Trump effect is now sweeping the globe from Canada to the UK and continental Europe. Left liberal governments are tottering while the right-leaning voters, especially young men, gravitate towards populist politics and take inspiration from Donald Trump's success in America. It's almost as if Trump himself were on the ballot in other advanced democracies. Recent polls showed Trump to be more popular in Canada than the country's own prime minister, Justin Trudeau. Presaged Trudeau's announcement this week of his resignation as Liberal Party leader and impending replacement as head of government. And this is after they've said, listen, we're going to put tariffs on Americans. Really? Really? If they impose tariffs on us, we're going to raise the tariffs on them. Well, how did that work out? Well, Britain's Keir Starmer, who's only been in office since July, ultimately faces a similar fate. Starmer's dismissal, Biden-like and Trudeau-like poll numbers suggest so. In mid-December, YouGov measured the Labour's prime minister net favorably at minus 41%. Left liberal leaders like Trudeau and Starmer are architects of their own ruin, to be sure, like their counterparts in America's Democrat Party. They've shown themselves to be economically inept and wildly out of touch with voters' desires to limit immigration. Yet, that's true of the center-right parties in all too many parts of the world, is why Britain's Conservatives lost the last election and Canada's Tories have been out of power for decades. Voters already know how inadequate the leadership of Trudeau or Starmer is, but to mobilize voters' dissatisfaction requires a strong voice in opposition to the left, someone willing to mock the pretensions of these worse than mediocre premiers and offer a stark alternative on immigration and other urgent issues. Trump may not be able to run for office in Britain or Canada, but he can and does provide that voice for the right, even beyond American shores. Calling Trudeau the governor of Canada as if our own neighbor to the north were merely of the 51st state was one way Trump highlighted Trudeau's weaknesses. Canadian conservatives do not, of course, think that their country is just an appendage to America, but the effect of Trump's jibe was to make Trudeau look like the lightweight he is, setting him up for his downfall at home. After Trump's humiliation of Trudeau, the prime minister standing in his own party collapsed, with Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Finance Chrystia Freeland resigning from his cabinet. Now, Trudeau himself is headed for the exit. Trump has peacefully brought regime change to Canada, though, as always, the hard part will be what comes next. Trump has a grasp on the future, however, thanks to the support of young men, even in places where the populist right has so far enjoyed only moderate success. Britain is one such place. Reform UK, the immigration restrictionist party Nigel Farage leads, won only a handful of seats in last year's parliamentary elections, despite the success of the Brexit movement under Farage 8 years earlier. Farage and Reform UK are far from displacing Conservative Party as the leading force in the British right, but shortly after the US presidential election, Jim Bladden of the think tank More in Common released polling data showing that fully half British men aged 18 to 35 would have voted for Trump if they could have done so, while only some 25% voted for either the Conservatives or the Reform in Britain's own election. Trump also had the lead over Conservatives and Reform together, albeit a narrow one, among British men aged 35 to 44. Polls weeks before U.S. election, meanwhile, showed that altogether about a third of young British people would have voted for Trump, which may not seem so impressive until one considers that the Labour Party won a commanding majority in the parliament, more than 3 times as many seats as the Conservatives, with a popular vote just of 33.7%. Will conservatives take this as a signal to move in a more populist direction? Doing so would help them thwart the challenge from Farage, who may not win many seats, but does cost the conservative seats by splitting the right-leaning vote. Yet the conservatives may be content to let Starmer defeat himself with his unpopular policies. That could work on the short run, but it would only postpone the populist reckoning. Trump didn't start a new party. He took over and remade America existing right of center vehicle. If some Trump-like leader in Britain or Europe can do likewise, the result could be a generational realignment similar to the one America has seen. Until then, though, Trump himself would continue to be the leader of a transformation that is remaking more than just American politics, in which now just unmade Justine Trudeau's premiership. Yeah. It really does matter, the amount of movement that's been happening over the past few days, because we're coming in fast on the inauguration. On the 20th, Trump will be re-inaugurated as 47th president, barring some weirdness that might happen between now and then. And in the meantime, you've got the January 6ers ask Trump for pardons in D.C. as election is certified. As Congress cheered the certification of Donald Trump and J.D. Vance's election win, January 6 prisoners and allies were joined together and asked the president-elect to give them some justice. In an event on January 6, Washington, D.C., J6ers who have been or are still unjustly imprisoned in the case of Jake Lang for years in solitary confinement without a trial spoke out in person or by video. They were joined by attorneys who take the J6 cases to court, and multiple media and business figures. Themes at the event included requests from incoming President Trump for pardons for all J6ers, no exceptions, admiration for the founders and thus horror at violations of constitutional rights and demands of accountability. Joe Biden pardoned or commuted sentences for more than 15,000 plus criminals, including sex offenders, murderers, Chinese spies, not to mention his own son. Yet some J6ers have received sentences of decades in prison. Online influencer George Behezy Tweets was one of the multiple speakers and panelists who praised all those who have, in ways large and small, stood up for the rule of law amidst Biden-Harris weaponization of lawfare. I hope posterity looks down on everyone in this room with extreme satisfaction, he said. Lawyer and podcast host Viva Frey, hey, look at that, Viva Frey getting a shout out, emphasized how serious the relentless Democrats' campaign against all J6 protesters has been, while hundreds of July violent pro-terrorist leftist activists went free. Yes, that is true. The aim was to persecute and prosecute the political rivals, to discredit them, to turn them into domestic terrorists, to weaponize the justice system against half of America. My Pillow CEO, Mike Lindell, agreed evil had a backup plan, and that backup plan was January 6th, he insisted. J6 activist Suzanne Monk insisted the community aims for pardons are in line with the views of the founding fathers, who in their day were vilified by opponents as violent, dangerous traitors for defending their rights. We continue to need the founders' vision of this country, and we need to continue to implement it because the founders knew that there was actually one more ruling branch, one more group of people that were going to be critical to the checks and balances, and that is we, the people. She emphasized some J6ers were charged with violence and defending themselves from Capitol Police brutality, which killed Ashley Babbitt and Rosalind Boylan. Jake Lang called in from prison, where he has been for nearly 4 years without a trial and often subjected to psychological or sometimes even physical abuse. Lang, who 2 fellow protesters say saved their lives from police brutality on January 6, 2021, slammed the gross miscarriage of justice, this 2-tiered Soviet-style persecution of American patriots. He thanked attendees who trekked through the snow and the rain and the freezing sleet like George Washington and his awesome rowdy crew of patriots crossing the Delaware River, making sure that patriotism in our constitutional republic lasts long. And I believe that to make America great again, the first step is to free the Jan Sixers, Lang told PJ Media before the events that he hopes Trump sees. We are united as a community. Journalist Laura Logan emotionally described the federal abuses of power, the house raised by SWAT teams for misdemeanor offenses, for nonviolent misdemeanor offenses. You watch them escort people out of airports. You watch them put people in jail who don't deserve to be there. And even though you can't tell every story, you can't make it right, and you can't address every case. Every single one of them chips away at your soul. Trump can ensure the J6ers are no longer treated as guilty until or even if proven innocent. J6er Philip Anderson, one of the protesters nearly killed on that 2021 day but saved Lang, described how J6 prisoners are treated as if they're murderous terrorists. If I pew-pewed up a school, I could understand that. If you had deleted someone, or if you had done something truly egregious like a terrorist attack or shot up a school, I could understand that. But we're talking about people who are only charged with misdemeanors, or someone who's only charged with one felony charge. They would commit self-harm before they even go to trial, because that's how terrified they are. Because they know that they won't be judged there. They know that exculpatory evidence will be withheld. They know that they're going to be put through the ringer and that they're going to get the most severe sentence possible. At least 5 J6ers have committed self-deletion, facing the prospect of years in prison. Attorney Michael Metcalf praised outspoken January 6ers Trennis Evans and Lang, who both spoke at the event, and emphasized that not only should the misdemeanor cases get blanket pardons, but I'm really concerned about the people who are sitting in jail right now. Today, we're going to be sitting in jail on January 20th. One man over 60 years old has been told to surrender for 30 days in jail, and he did nothing harmful in 2021, according to the attorney. What does that do? How does that protect society? How does that do anything other than destroy this one man? It doesn't keep society safe. The same Biden-Harris administration that encourages unlimited numbers of criminal illegals to enter the United States does not care about safety. It cares about political control. Thank God that they will be out of office by the end of the month, and hopefully Trump can investigate the corrupt and pardon the political prisoners. It's rough. It's rough knowing that this is the state of our country. That should get people thinking, and really thinking hard about exactly what's going on in the United States, because it doesn't always look pretty. It is interesting to me that you see these kinds of things like this right here. The left is arming up ahead of inauguration. As inauguration of Donald Trump looms on the horizon, we can expect an uptick in the protagonistic stations of doom and gloom and the nightmare scenarios of a conservative dictatorship. I would have hoped the left would have gotten all that out of its system by now, but who are we kidding? Talking about an article in the Sunday edition of the Philadelphia Inquirer, the New York Post highlighted a move on the left. In this case, the gay groups produce guns before 45, 47 is sworn in. The groups have such names such as the Liberal Gun Club, the Socialist Rifle Association, the Pink Pistols. The Liberal Gun says it has received thousands of training questions since Trump was elected, with about a quarter of those coming from the gay community. One person told the Inquirer 3 months before the election, that's when the alarm bell started to ring, minorities that are armed are more difficult to legally oppress. While not a gun enthusiast myself, I have often heard 2A advocates make the same argument on behalf of all people. New Jersey resident Matthew Thompson said that he decided to buy a pew-pew after the Pulse nightclub attacks, and he commented, the people I've been seeing on the left and the gay people are out purchasing guns for the first time. It's all about self-defense and fear. We're not looking to arm up and storm the Capitol. We just don't want to be put in concentration camps. Are you that stupid? Nobody wants to put you in concentration camps. if you're wondering who wants to put you in the concentration camps, it's the own party that you've been supporting, the ones that wanted to disarm you in the first place. Those are the people you should be concerned with, that don't want you to protect yourself. Those are the ones that you should be really worried about, the people from your own party. Because on this side of the aisle, we want you to be free to do whatever you want to do as long as you don't harm children or other people. Amazing how that works, isn't it? The Post pointed out the shooter, when Omar Mateen, was a homegrown terrorist sympathizer who, as it turns out, likely had no idea that he was in a gay nightclub. How do you not know? One particular glaring fact that keeps getting glossed over is the fact that Trump has been very supportive of the gay community to the point of appointing gay people to his administration, but facts like those only serve to dampen the mood of a good screed. Goes without saying, or at least it should, that no one is planning putting gay people into concentration camps. Are there people who vehemently oppose the gay lifestyles and non-traditional marriages and relationship? Are there those who prejudiced against the gay people? The answer to both questions is absolutely and yes. That said, every conservative I've ever met has not cared what gay people do to one another or with one another, and I have never met one who wanted gay people deleted, deported, or placed in camps. Every conservative I have met just wants to be left alone. That includes the gay conservatives that I've met. Some conservatives have objected to the introduction of sexual agendas into classrooms, and efforts to promote the trans agenda among children, unless it's a Trans Am, which some on the left is tantamount to violence, but no one is planning on rounding anyone up. So why is the worry about concentration camps? Well, I'm writing this on January 6th. We all know what happened the last time we certified a presidential election. It is true that on that day, some people who entered the Capitol committed crimes, not all, but some. And that gave the left, was studiously ignored and even advocated for previous bouts of violence, the opportunity to declare January 6th the worst thing since, just name your catastrophe. That paved the way for waves of incendiary rhetoric from the Biden administration, provided the necessary rationale for various governmental entities to harass, surveil, and kick in the doors of school board parents, pro-lifers, and the people who dared question this trans agenda, not to mention wanting to round up anyone in the Capitol that day working feverishly to suppress dissenting ideas. Under the guise of fighting totalitarianism, the Democrats became totalitarians. The rhetoric and the other rhetoric that came before it found a home with many, and now we have people who honestly believe that the guy with a Trump bumper sticker wants to behead them or toss them in an oblit, and that anyone who objects to sexualizing children is a proponent of genocide. And that raises an uncomfortable question. What will these people perceive as a threat worthy of using a pew-pew? One thing we have consistently seen from the left is a propensity to project its fears onto its opponents. Who knows, by availing themselves of the Second Amendment, leftists may have actually begun to understand just how valuable those documents in the Constitution are. Maybe by purchasing and training with firearms, they may find some common ground with the people they have been taught to hate. Is that possible? I want to think so. Is it probable? Sadly. I'm not holding my breath. Thank you, Brandon. Look at the uptick in AIDS-related car accidents. I know, it's amazing, isn't it? It's really hard. It's really hard. Thank you, Lesko. Finding HIV has become too expensive. You think so? Well, Brandon, because I don't know if you've been in on this, but we do have some new stickers for the super chats. Thank you very much, sir. All right, there's one right there. There you get a nice little blue one for that. Thank you. And look at the uptick in those. I know we've got quite a bit. That gives you another sticker there, brother. I appreciate you guys. Oh, by the end of this year, I hope to have that thing completely filled. That's the goal. Jamie's got a gun. Different. Hey, biker, if you claim to be a tree, don't be surprised when someone shows a branch up your ass. Well, some guy just might like that. You never know. when we have please stand down and you need that pew pew stick. Yes, that is very true. That is very true. And we don't like to see the violence. That never turns out good. Never turns out good at all. And of course, we had, I think I covered this yesterday. No, I didn't cover it yesterday, but I do have, let me see if I've got this one in here. There was something I saw. Oh yeah. This should bring to quite a bit. This comes from Stossel. I really liked his take on this. A lot of people may have not seen this, but this might bring to light just a little bit for you folks out there. And I'll just let his words ring through to you. This should bring a lot.
10 senators from both parties visibly happy to announce agreement.
3 years ago, Republicans and Democrats grabbed your money, promising
to build thousands of miles of fiber optic
cable that would provide high-speed internet to all of America.
$65 billion broadband push.
3 years later, no one's been connected. Not a single project is underway. Why?
Not a single one.
Because governments aren't good at building anything.
True.
As Milton Friedman put it.
Very few people spend other people's money as carefully as they spend their own.
Politicians spending other people's money wasted it.
Good morning.
Private companies laid miles of cable, while government officials obsessed about giving broadband to the right people.
Boys, girls, people of color, people living in rural America.
Aging individuals, prisoners, LGBTQ persons. Any company that wants funds to build broadband has to hire certain people.
You have to hire these certain people based on their color, based on their sex, and you have to use unions.
Matt Cole's investment company researched the government's funding and made this ad.
What am I looking at here?
Oh, there's nothing more important than making sure you're representing all the right causes.
You have all these companies that could actually do this, and I say, this is unimplementable with the restrictions, so they just walk away.
Eventually, government will probably succeed at installing some broadband. But by then, this hard-to-install cable may be totally unnecessary because of satellite internet like Starlink. Starlink already exists and costs much less.
They could do it literally today. You could have devices in these people's homes within the next couple months, and they could have high-speed internet access.
So why didn't administration officials do that?
Because
they said Starlink failed to demonstrate it had the ability. Then, once it became clear that Starlink obviously did, the administration said it won't use Starlink because it's a monopoly.
So first, they're not functional. Now they have a monopoly. The reality is that they didn't want that to be the solution.
They don't want to give money to Elon Musk.
Take over, Elon. Yes, take over.
But now Musk has a friend in government, so things may change.
50
That's
years.
not a good way to spend your money. Politicians doling it out to their friends. In fact, politicians have a bad track record when they decide what to build. They pump billions into high-speed rail. 15 years later, we still don't
It didn't
have
work.
They lost $500 million on Solyndra, almost $1 billion trying to create synthetic fuels. More recently, a Biden meatpacking scheme starved 1 million chickens. And although Biden promised government would build
500,000 charging stations.
2 years later, how many have they built for $7 billion? Seven. And again, government's failure at building things, it's not just a Democrat thing. Republicans joined Democrats in grabbing your money to build computer chip factories.
We will enable advanced semiconductor manufacturing to make a comeback here in America.
Democrats bragged about adding strength.
Oh, yeah.
Diversity,
they were all
equity,
about
and
that.
inclusion.
The CHIPS Act contains 19 sections aimed at helping minority groups.
You already have a talent problem. Now you're looking at only being able to recruit from a very small minority of individuals. Then you have to do climate pledges. Then you have to hire from unions.
But diversity is good. And there's been horrible discrimination in this country.
That doesn't mean that you should shift the pendulum back to hire someone because of their race or their skin color if they're a diverse candidate.
Despite the billions you spent, most chips are still made in Taiwan.
Yep.
And even when we pay their chip makers, they struggle to build in America.
A major Taiwanese chip manufacturing plant will be delayed again.
If our government wants chips made in America, they should get out of the way. Micromanaging microchips just slows things down. Even if they get what they promise, doing the numbers, $53 billion and 115,000 promised jobs. That's almost $500,000 per job.
You would expect nothing else from government inefficiency, right?
With Republicans in charge, some think things will be better. But as I said, the problem isn't just Democrats, it's government.
Yes.
Republican politicians also harm people when they try
to
improve on the free market. Trump's steel tariffs destroyed American jobs because they raised the price of steel. Our government should just stop subsidizing politically connected businesses. And maybe Elon Musk will convince Trump to do that. He's actually tweeted that all subsidies should end, including his own. But I won't hold my breath.
We spent $2.5 trillion. We got everybody pay increases.
Once politicians are in power, they always want to do more with your money.
Exactly. That's from Stossel. He's been doing this for quite some time. He's been covering the news for a long time. Probably about longer than I've been living. He's been around for a bit. He's an interesting guy. He's really got some interesting takes on it, but nothing as interesting a take as this one right here. And I'm going to show you this because I think everyone needs to hear this on a daily basis. Although I don't play it daily, but you should hear this on a daily basis.
Democracy is a form of government based upon the principle of majority rule, period. End of discussion. Now, that's not very complicated. Majority rule. It's easy to understand, easy to sell to the masses, and I might add, deadly. For example, what would you call a lynch mob? That's majority rule. There's only one dissenting vote, and he's at the end of the rope. Now, that's pure democracy in action. Now, but wait a minute, you say. The majority should rule, yes, but not to the extent of destroying the rights of the minority. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we are no longer describing a democracy. We are speaking of a republic. A republic is a limited democracy. It's a form of government based upon the principle of limited majority rule. Limited so that the minority, even a minority of one, can be protected against the whims and passions of the majority. And how do you protect the minority from the majority? You write down a set of rules on a piece of paper. You say, this we can do, that we cannot. At the top of the paper, you write the word Constitution. And then everyone agrees to follow the rules no matter what the temptation. And when you're finished, you've created a constitutional republic.
Absolutely. Every damn time. But I feel bad for all you fine folks that are suffering through this time right now of snow. But this should bring some peace to you right here. Just a little bit of peace. Knowing that there's guys out there doing this kind of work just for you. They are moving mountain snow to make sure that your driveways are clear, making sure that you can get where you need to be. They teach civics in school anymore? No, they don't, Joyce. They don't. Private schools, maybe. One of the biggest downfalls of American and making it not such an inevitable creation of the school board. That is insane. Wow. Just look at that. Oof. not normal soothing. Clearing out the snow. I had a buddy that I used to game with that he's an operator for one of these trucks up in Canada that I used to game. So I used to game with this guy, and that's what he did. Good old buddy of mine. He would do those. He would operate one of these snow plows all winter long. All winter long. That was his job. St. Petersburg, Florida, 76 degree. We had a guy with a snowplow help moving sand after melting on Madeira Beach. Yeah, it's insane. I don't know what. Hey, Debbie Webb, how you doing? Good morning, man. I wish I could get snow like that in Texas. No, you don't, Glenda. Trust me, you don't want snow like that in Texas. That would shut down Texas so fast. I mean, hell, in Georgia, we got what, 3 inches of snow, something like that. Maybe it was 4 inches of snow. And it shut down the entire city. They call it the snowpocalypse. It was awful. I was working that day and I kept saying, I think we need to go. Like, let me go, really. But of course, they refused to let us leave because, well, it'll let up pretty soon. It took me 6 hours to get home that day. Was it 6 hours or was it 7? I forget. I just remember that it was lucky that I had a full tank of gas, or I never would have made it home. And I only had about 4 miles to go. I could have walked home faster than it took me to drive, because it was insane. And then of course I was stranded at home for about a week, where I couldn't get back out at all. Because my whole street was covered in ice. Like, I had where I lived, there was a stop sign. As you pull down the driveway, there's a stop sign right there, and there were people sliding through the stop sign because they couldn't stop, just right on through. And I couldn't get out. You got 10 inches in your last snow. Yeah, we didn't get I think it was, but like I said, Georgia's not equipped for it. We don't have snow plows. We don't have ice trucks. We don't have, the trucks to dump salt or sand or any of that stuff. We don't have those in supply. So if we get hit with a blizzard, we're pretty screwed. But that's just how we are. Yeah. But we have plans. We have plows. Yeah, we don't really have plows to on that level. There's too many streets, too many side streets, high population. It's pretty hard to get to do anything. We're talking about, this is something that we just don't have here. I mean, we might have a couple, but it's not enough to clear off the interstate, because you have to remember the interstate's going to come before everything else to get cleared off. You have to have some alleviation on the traffic. And so the interstates will always get it first. Plus, outside of no budget for snow removal in the South. I mean, the budget could be there, but it's easier to fund political campaigns. Much easier to handle political campaigns than do the stuff you have here. So what is the? I'm not going to talk about that. There's something about that I just can't do it. Can't do this. It's talking about self-deletion. I understand certain cases we might want to. So I was going to talk about that, but it just gets me a little bit angry. But I do have this one. Get what you pay for, one way or the other. It is a truth universally acknowledged that running a website costs money, and someone is going to pay that money, or a website won't continue. That money comes from basically four sources. Charity, like Blogger, paid for by Google with change from behind the couch cushions. A foundation or some billionaire with really deep pockets, like the Atlantic, subscriptions or ad revenue. PJ Media, like a lot of high circulation sites is paid for by a combination of ad revenue and subscriptions. We call our subscriptions the VIP and VIP Gold Platinum. It's a fairly simple concept. You pay a small annual subscription price. Currently, it's $49 for the basic VIP membership, but they do run promotional discounts fairly often. For this, you get some privileges. You get access to our comments, which as a side effect keeps trollery down to a dull roar. You get access to their premium content like My Sky Candy series with VIP Gold, $89 a year. You get VIP access to all the town hall sites. And with VIP Platinum, $159 a year, you get all that plus discounts and gift certificates to Town Hall merch store. Okay. Yeah, that's the pitch for VIP membership. Keep reading for an explanation why PJ Media needs it. Other sites work differently. Common sites like Forbes, National Review Online offer a few free articles every month, after which you need a subscription. Some sites like the New York Times and Wall Street Journal offer no free content or almost none. And of course, there's the legacy media. I think it's a mistake to classify the legacy media as a wholly separate from the internet media. If you think of it, the biggest difference in that legacy media like CNN or ESPN is basically just media using antiquated one-directional internet and cable TV and even more antique broadcasting airwaves. Even then, cable is a moribund and usually packaged with internet anyway. It's better to think of it as push media because the whole structure of the technology is oriented to pushing the content out, take it or leave it. But most important way, at least to our purposes right now, that legacy media model is still ad supported. Comcast is trying to sell MSNBC because they are losing a lot of money on the ads that support the channel, because the population that they can target is getting smaller and smaller. So what this means is that very nearly all media is ad supported, whether on the internet or on push media. So to understand how media support is useful to understand advertising. What this does is an impression. Someone sees your ad, whether it's on a web page or on the side of a bus. Every impression costs the advertiser money, and for traditional reasons, impressions are measured in millions. And the common notation for this is MM, like 10 MM mean 10 million impressions. The fact that it uses this mangled Roman numerals should tell you how old it is. No, not as old as Rome, but back when every grade schooler knew Roman numerals and could learn that MM means million. M times M. For example, if the product is Acme, blah, blah. We're not going to go into that all there. But what it is they have a push for getting their articles out there. PJ Media does offer some discounts. They're not offering one right now that I know of, but if you do subscribe to PJ Media, it helps keep their support going. It keeps their ad revenue up, their subscriber base up, and they can pay their journalists money, people like Megan Fox. So I'm doing this as a shout out because I think that having these voices out there really help out, and I want to definitely be very thankful for them not demonetizing me for reading their stories and giving them a little bit of shout out. Doesn't take a whole lot for me, but you get stories like this. The Laken Riley Act is back before the 119th Congress on February 22nd, 2024. An illegal immigrant, Jose Ibarra, killed a nursing student, Laken Riley, on the trail of a campus at the University of Georgia, which is where my wife went and got her degree. She's a double dog. Riley's murder further solidified the urgency of the border crisis that the Biden administration foisted upon the country. Even as the University of Georgia community leaders throughout the state rallied around Riley's family, the deletion also revealed the callousness of the woke leadership of Athens, Clarke County, whose mayor and district attorney declared it a sanctuary city. Ibarra was found guilty in November because DA Deborah Gonzalez refused to seek the death penalty. He received life in prison. That case led the voters of Clarke and Oconee counties to vote Gonzalez out of office. Yes. In March, Representative Mike Collins of Georgia, whose district includes Athens, Clarke County, introduced the Laken Riley Act. In the interest of full disclosure, Collins is also my congressman. He's not mine, but he is Athens, Clarke County's congressman. Shortly after Collins introduced the bill, This person wrote, H.R. 7511, the Lake and Riley Act would require the Secretary of Homeland Security take into custody aliens who have been charged in the United States with theft and for other purposes. Collins introduced the bill on March 1st, and he hopes the House will vote on it as soon as this week. Lake and Riley's tragic murder at the hands of an illegal was another wake-up call. Collins wrote an email to constituents on Tuesday. Americans are experiencing a crime wave because of Joe Biden's open border, local sanctuary policies that shield former criminals from accountability and deportation. The bill passed the House but stalled in the Senate, but November's election results emboldened Collins to reintroduce the new bill to Congress. In a press release on Friday, Collins announced today, represented by Collins, to reintroduce the Lake and Riley Act for the 119th Congress. This legislation, which passed the House last year with overwhelming bipartisan support before stalling in the Senate, gives ICE and state governments more resources to fight against illegal criminal aliens. The Lake and Riley Act gives our law enforcement the tools they need to protect our communities and ensure that no more innocent lives are lost to a broken immigration and criminal justice system. I'm also proud that the House will be able to come together and pass this bill. If the Senate will do its job, President Trump will make it law. The bill directly addresses one of the federal policy failures related to Lake and Riley's murder. Or murder by Jose Ibarra. He is an illegal alien who had been previously cited for shoplifting by the Athens Police Department. If local law enforcement had called ICE and ICE had issued a detainer and picked him up, Lakin would be alive. Ibarra was found guilty in November 2024 and has been sentenced to life without parole. Here's hoping a second time is a charm with the Lake and Riley Act. We must stop tragedies like Riley's murder from ever happening again. Look out, dear Sally. Make way, Inlanders. It's shizzies with dear bubbles. Oh, and tonight we will have some more. We have some more of the deposition. I might finish out the rest of that Shara's piece that she released. It's it does get more and more disturbing the longer that you watch it. Yeah. Thank you very much. I appreciate it, Joyce. And having Yamaha read those are glorious. He's been pretty smart so far and kept his cake hole quiet. I know that he's probably out there stammering and steaming all over the internet again, but I would suspect that the amount of information that I'm going to be releasing over the next few days might shine a little bit of light in the direction of what kind of garbage is going on behind the scenes that people are unaware of, or some people are aware of, and it's because it's not being talked about. And it's not doing anything to bring anyone down. It's to prove a point of how bad's the state of this constant grift trying to destroy somebody, and how these people are using your funds to do things that maybe aren't quite right. There's a little bit of I have a specific way that I approach things, which is usually like putting on a safety helmet and going in head first and ramming right through. But I do have a lot of stuff that once I sort through all of it, might bring a little bit of light to the shadiness of all the situation. But we also have more information that's going to be coming out within the next week or so, to see what all is going on with the Hale stuff. The depositions are just a portion of it. They're we try to keep them entertaining because the gravity of that situation is pretty harsh. In the reality of this is it's not a laughing matter. We do try to make light of the situation. That's why I have some lighthearted people with very giving of their time and their efforts and their energies. I've been very thankful for having Dictionary Diva, Yamaha, having Volstorm come in. They've been very giving of their time, and also it's been difficult to read through some of this stuff, because part of it is heartbreaking knowing the amount of aggression that is being sent towards anybody that speaks up on this. And I understand that, it's like with the stuff that I have, it could be, I have to find a way to approach it, because I don't want people to be destroyed. That's not my goal. I want everybody to prosper, but I know that whenever there's this kind of shade being thrown around, the amount of lies that have been told by certain hater groups, the amount of lies that have been told have to be brought out. They have to be shown, and I can't find any other way around it. And it's not that I'm going to be showing you anything that's secret or private. It's all things that are publicly available to each and every person. All you have to do is just search for it, and you will find these kinds of things. Just know that over the next week, we've got a lot going on, and hopefully we can get to all of it and sort of do a little bit more of a deep dive. But I'll just take my time with it. I'll ease it in nice and slowly. You'll see little bits and snippets here, but we should be getting through with Shara's deposition soon. Hopefully, we'll have the rest of Jeremy's deposition for what happened after Shara's deposition there in Pensacola. Hopefully, we have that pretty soon for you guys. And I know that I've had some people reach out to me to get a copy of these. I can't do that, because I did ask somebody else for it, and they were concerned with these things being out. If you want to hear what the depositions have, you can go back and watch all of the stuff that we've covered on it, and maybe get a little bit of a laugh about it. But no, I won't be showing those depositions until much later. I won't release those out to the public. I know that there's people that want to read them, but I won't do that, because I was very specific on what I asked for. So thank you very much, everybody. We've got, like I said, we'll have a stream tonight about the same time, same place, and I'll leave you with a little bit of dance music, and then we'll just kick this thing right out to the internet. So enjoy the dance off, and then I'll do an outro. Peace, guys. We'll see you very soon.
Step aside, y'all, it's my time to shine. I'm feeling the groove with these hips of mine. Hands in the air like spaghetti gone rogue. My knees are jelly and my hips just broke. Shaking it, breaking it, what a blast. Wobble it, wiggle it, shake that ass. Do a jig or a jog, wiggle it to the side, or break that hip bone by moving your ass. Step up or stand aside. My shoulders pop like a rusty hinge. My fingers point like they're on a binge. Twirl like a tornado, then drop real low. It's not planned, it's a shit sideshow. I've got the rhythm of a clock that's broke. My dance floor moves are a big effing joke. step up or stay undecided. Rig like a lava lamp, mesmerizing glow. You can't help but watch me steal the show. I summon the shake, the shimmy, the twist, a mix of genius and a big old fist. You're drawn in close, your feet start to twitch, feeling the groove like a broke-ass bitch. Yeah! Shaking it, breaking it, what a blast. Wobble it, wiggle it, shake that ass. Do a jig or a jog, wiggle it to the side, or break that hip bump by moving your ass. Step up or stand aside. Now we're all in the shake, no need to be shy. Move like spaghetti and reach for the sky. We'll dance like we're cursed, laugh till we're sore. Shizzy Whiz nut reigns forevermore. So join the dance, let your weirdness unfurl. We're shaking ass, not a care in the world.
Bless your heart. I thought I was the only mentally challenged one here.
Get it, yeah, oh yeah. Early morning, rise and shine. Coffee's brewing, feeling fine. News is out and on the air. Shizzy Whiz nuts wild, but we don't care. Morning Whiz and Coffee. Talk the news, he's a tease. Laugh it off, we're on the go. Shizzy Whiz nuts, start the show. Let's go. Get it, yeah, oh yeah. Headlines spinning in the breeze. Stupid jokes, he's such a tease. Sip the Java, wear a smile. Pants are off, but stay a while. Morning Whiz and Coffee. Talk the news, he's a tease. Laugh it off, we're on the go. Shizzy Whiz, let's start the show. Let's go. Get it, yeah, oh yeah. Headlines spinning in the breeze. Stupid jokes, he's such a tease. Sip the Java, wear a smile. Pants are off, but stay a while. Morning Whiz and Coffee. Talk the news, he's a tease. Laugh it off, we're on the go. Shizzy Whiz, let's start the show. Let's go. Get it, yeah, oh yeah. Serious is overrated. Every day we're caffeinated. Talk the town, but in a jest. Morning Whiz is always best. Clock is ticking, time to run. Morning show's a load of fun. Grab your mug, don't spill a drop. Laugh your ass off till you pop. Clock is ticking, time to run. Morning show's a load of fun. Grab your mug, don't spill a drop. Laugh your ass off till you pop.
Oh my god, Shizzy breaks Larry. Shizzy broke Larry.